This is a show that will blow your mind, but it might not. It all depends. Do you like breakfast and a book with a friend? The chair spinning has begun. Hey guys, I lost a shoe during the chair spinning. It's crazy. You may notice that my hair is brushed. That's because today we are recording 2 episodes of Reboot It. So I have to keep this relatively short, we're going to start recording Reboot It at 1:30. If you guys haven't seen Reboot It, you should go on YouTube, subscribe, push the little bell button to get notified how cool all the stuff that we are doing at Reboot It is. So yeah, we're going to be recording 2 Reboot It's. Today is Breakfast and a Book with Swallow. Welcome to the show if you are watching. Today's breakfast, a very simple PB&J waffles. I had to be quick. I couldn't make bacon. I couldn't make stuff because we're recording Reboot It at 1:30. And I had to get up early, or at least what's early for pandemic times. So let's test them out. We know this is going to be good already, but this is part of the show. You try out the foods, then you talk about the book. Yep. Delicious. Iced tea to drink with my Deadpool straw, of course. You may hear some chittering. That would be our adorable guinea pig. So this is Sookie Stackhouse' books, Charlaine Harris, Dead Until Dark. I actually read these books before the show came out, True Blood came out. I just thought they were weird vampire novels. And let's read the back, okay, guys? This is what we do. It's breakfast and a book. We got to be relatively quick today because of recording other stuff. But let's do it because we don't want to miss. We don't want to miss, guys. This is the voice I use sometimes when I'm being silly. So, Dead Until Dark. Sookie Stackhouse is a small-time cocktail waitress in small-town Louisiana. She's quiet, keeps to herself, and doesn't get out much. Not because she's not pretty. She is. It's just that, well, Sookie has sort of a disability. She can read minds, and that doesn't make her too dateable. And then along comes Bill. He's tall, dark, handsome, and Sookie can't hear a word he's thinking. He's exactly the type of guy she's been waiting for all her life. But Bill has a disability of his own. He's a vampire with a bad reputation. He hangs with a seriously creepy crowd, all suspected of, big surprise, murder. And when one of Sookie's co-workers is killed, she fears she's next. Murder and mayhem. These are interesting books because normally I don't like when vampires are good guys. Oh, Stouty, my roommate says, "Oh, I'm Ron. I read the book before it was a show and popular. You're now a hipster nerd." Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't play a banjo. You know what I mean? I don't have a ukulele and want to sing you a song. All right. I do have a beard though, so arguable. And I do read books before most people watch the show that comes out from the book. That's true. That's just because I was a reader first before I was a TV watcher, I guess. That's not 100% true. It's probably right around the same time. But these books are surprisingly good because normally I'm not a vampire as a romantic dark figure. I don't like vampires being good. I like vampires being bad. But in this book, they mostly are bad. There are some good ones, of course. Eventually you learn that Sookie, the reason vampires like her so much is she's got like fairy blood, and it's crazy. And that's part of why she has psychic abilities. So let's just go ahead and open up in the middle and read. You know what I like to do when I go look for a book and I don't know the author? That's not how I found this, though. Somebody had told me about these, so I checked them out. And I gotta admit, I read all of them. They were fun, quick reads, super quick reads. They're not very complicated, very straightforward romance, mystery novels, basically. Jason came in at lunch and had a couple of beers with his hamburger, which wasn't his normal regimen. He usually didn't drink during the workday. I knew he'd get mad if I said anything directly, so I just asked him if everything was okay. The chief had me in again today, he said in a low voice. He looked around to make sure no one else was listening, but the bar was sparsely filled that day since the Rotary Club was meeting at the community building. What is he asking you? My voice was equally low. How often I'd seen Maudette, and did I always get my gas at the place she worked, over and over and over, like I hadn't answered those questions 75 times. My boss is at the end of his patience. Sookie? And I don't blame him. I've been gone from work at least 2 days, maybe 3 with all the trips I've been making down to the police station. Maybe you better get a lawyer, I said uneasily. That's what Renee said. Then Renee Linear and I saw eye to eye. What about Sid Matt Lancaster? Sidney Matthew Lancaster, native son and a whiskey sour drinker, had the reputation of being the most aggressive trial lawyer in the parish. I liked him because he always treated me with respect when I served him at the bar. Does series 2 of the books go off the rails like the show did? No. It's wacky, but it's not as wacky in the world that they painted in the books. In the books, it's this is a normal thing. I feel like they've painted it pretty normal in the book. So no, it's not quite as crazy in the second book. Crazy stuff happens, but yeah, no, not as much. And honestly, not as much sex in the books that I remember. There's definitely sex in the books, but crazy stuff happens, of course. The books, look, I know people hate when you say this, but honestly, the books are a little better than the show. The show's good, though. I enjoyed the show. So, like I said, the fun part about these Charlaine Harris books is they are super quick reads. They posit a world where vampires basically are all different, but the majority of them are trying to take over society so they can drink all of your blood. Let's get to another point. Maybe it's a little more fun. Oh, here we go. It was such an extreme reaction that the vampires tensed up, and I could feel that crackling the air in the room. Pam, hold Ginger still, Eric commanded, and Pam appeared silently behind Ginger's chair, leaning over and putting her hands on Ginger's upper arms. You could tell Ginger struggled some because her head moved around, but Pam held her upper body in a grip that kept the girl's body absolutely immobile. My fingers circled her wrist. Did you take the money? I asked, staring into Ginger's flat brown eyes. She screamed then, long and loud. She began to curse me. I listened to the chaos in the girl's tiny brain. It was like trying to walk over a bomb site. She knows who did, I said to Eric. Ginger fell silent then, though she was sobbing. She can't say the name, I told the blonde vampire. He has bitten her. I touched the scars on Ginger's neck as if that needed more illustration. It's some kind of compulsion, I reported. After I tried again, she can't even picture him. Ooh, do you see boobies? Stouty asked. You can't see boobies through a book, Stouty. They can describe boobies, but if they describe them too much, they become very creepy. They usually say they're her rounded bosoms or something along those lines. So no, you don't see any boobies, then the show is better. All right, good point. Fine. You can just picture them. Picture them in your head. Enjoy my hair being brushed because I have to, record Rebooted in a little bit. In fact, that's why we're going to end a little sooner than normal today. Thank you guys who did watch for watching Breakfast in a Book with Swallow. We will be doing it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As usual, I like to say thank you guys for supporting artists, being out there, watching people reading books. Just read the books, guys. You're staying inside. Read a book. buy a book from a person. I got a book from a friend of mine gave me a copy of a friend's book as a gift, and her book is great. I may talk about that when I finish it. Of course, then I have to like figure out how to show you the cover through through the phone. I'll just have to maybe get a picture or something like that. Stouty said, "Enjoy your job interview, you fancy-haired man." Yes, that's yes. I even shaved the little neck beard here, cleaned this up a little bit. You know, you gotta look good when you're doing a Reboot It. So that's the other thing I was going to tell you. Check out Reboot It on YouTube. It's awesome. You can also check out my podcast, Nerd Goat Podcast, on iTunes or wherever you get podcasts. So do those types of things. You can also check me out on Jack of All Nerds. They have a podcast and a YouTube channel, so check out that. And oh yeah, and if you want to join our Nerd Goat Patreon, you get extra stuff. It's with Ed Greer and I. If you guys know Ed, you probably do if you know me. So you can check that stuff out. We talk about people's favorite fictional characters of all time in the actual podcast. On the Patreon, we send people art once Kinko's is open, and we send you we get you extra podcasts, and the extra podcasts are a little bit different than the Nerd Goat feed. It's like real personal, not personal, but like we talked about the last episode. We talked about what we wanted to be when we grew up, so that was pretty funny. One of our producer Bill was like, I don't know why, but I just wanted to be a dentist when I was a kid. And my parents like encouraged me and got me like dental equipment and stuff. I think it's hilarious. So yeah, let's thank you guys for listening. And if you want to support, you just go to patreon.com/nerdgoatpodcast to support there. And then I and Ed get that sweet money and we pay our bills. So be safe out there. I hope you're keeping sane in the pandemic. I look forward to seeing all of you, the people that I get to see, and high-fiving without being scared, giving hugs. Here's a virtual hug, guys. Virtual hug. So thank you for listening to another episode of Breakfast and a Book with Swallow. That's me. Bye, guys.